Well, hey everybody, Ben Howard of the Howard Group bringing you this North Texas real estate market report, giving you all the information you need about buying and selling a home here in the DFW area. Hey, well, it's been a brutal couple of weeks. Again, all the stuff we're facing with COVID, and some schools I heard have been sending the kids back home now to do some in-school learning through the Thanksgiving holidays and maybe even beyond that. I know that can be challenging for parents, especially of young children. We got done with this election cycle, which has been less than pleasant, to say politely. And, maybe this is a good time to talk about some things that will brighten our day a little bit. So let's talk about this UNESCO report that just came out. 180 million more girls have been enrolled in primary and secondary education around the globe than 25 years ago. That's a 16% increase. Let's talk about, approaching equity in that way. What a great step. We find a lot of that in North Africa, some Asian countries where there was a great disparity before, and we have nearly reached equity in that. How about this story in Oklahoma City? John Thompson, a man after my own heart, would head to Dunkin' Donuts nearly every day, go in there and get a coffee, go in there and get a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. And you know what? He found something else that was there. He may have found love. Yeah, he found the manager there at the place. Believe it or not, her name, Sugar Good, which is maybe the best name ever for a manager at Dunkin' Donuts. But they fell in love. He finally got up the courage to ask her out, and wouldn't you know, she was already prepared to give the number. 7 months later, they got married there at that drive-thru at the Dunkin' Donuts. If that doesn't make it feel good, what will? And finally, I know it's been longer than this for the last market report, but if you haven't seen on my social media, if you're not following social media, you should get on there. But we actually adopted, well, we haven't adopted yet. We're fostering, but the writing's on the wall. We're going to keep this dog. A beautiful new little blue 2-year-old blue Weimaraner female who is best buddies with Watson now. Lots of fun, lots of great times around, playing, all the things you would want. So if that doesn't brighten your day, seeing those two laying together like good buddies, I don't know what will. Hey, but let's get into some of these numbers around North Texas. Hey, there are a number of things in here that will make you perhaps your day brighten up, especially if you're looking to sell your house. We just went under contract, I think on contract number 12 for buyers this year. Most of those during COVID, so it's still possible. You just want to make sure that you have a buyer's agent who is really on the ball, making sure they're taking care of it, making sure you get all the information so you win those contracts, which I'm glad to say Howard Group has been doing that. Hey, but for this market report, we're going to be talking about the first part of November against the first part of October. So a 1-month difference to give you a real relationship of how the trends are and what things are looking like. And at the end, I'm going to show you again what it looks like, how many houses are on the market, and what that means for you. So let's look here in Denton County, November 2nd through 8th. That's the last report we came up with. Now you see those that are sold. Now, there are a couple of counties here. We have a mixed report this week of how many that have sold more as compared to weeks past. So this one, 340 houses sold as compared to 371. Now, if you're worried about, not having enough houses on the market, there's a good reason for that in Denton County. And we were already at record lows for how many houses are on the market for sale. But this one, we sold 340, but only 199 new ones came on. About the same a month ago, and this month 384, 385 for how many are going through the process. And those that were canceled, you can see 35 and 51, so that's a little bit better. People aren't having the opportunity to cancel these listings because they are going so quickly. But a big thing to see on their new ones, a month ago we had 312 in Denton County. This month, 199. Yikes! Get over to Collin County. So more sold in Collin County than a month ago. So 415 as compared to 369. But if we look on here, still we're gonna face a pretty critical junction here where we're just not getting enough on the market for how many are selling right now. Luckily, new construction is going crazy in North Texas as well, so those won't necessarily be included in these numbers. But 238 new listings as compared to 287, so slow down a little bit. Those going through the process, a few less right now, but that's going to catch up when you see how many are sold and the new ones that are coming on. So that's Collin County. So I'm looking pretty good there, Collin County. Dallas County, some big numbers here. Dallas County is actually looking perhaps the most healthy of the bunch right now, and you'll see that at the end. Almost 600 sold, 523 new listings as compared to 527 and 567 in the early part of October. Those going through the process, a few more this month than last month, and almost identical for those that were canceled. Tarrant County, some big numbers here as well, but you're going to see the big discrepancy here, almost 140. There's a net loss of 140 houses on the market after this month. Again, Tarrant County, lots of construction going over there, especially in the north part of Fort Worth. But 619 sold, 481 new, and then 587 going through the process. Those are all a little bit smaller, I guess, though the new ones are a little bit more than last month. But they're looking fairly healthy in Tarrant County as well. Now, I want to show you the overall trend as we go through. This is one I've been showing you the last 2 or 3 market reports, but really this is what shows you if you're in a buyer's or a seller's market. The higher it is on the graph, the more it is the benefit of buyers because there are more houses on the market. So you can see there during the market collapse that we had in 09 and 10, houses were sitting on the market for an average of 8 months. It was crazy. Nobody buying. You couldn't sell the thing. But as we look right now, it is the lowest on record again. But you can see if you look at the very bottom, and especially a couple of those counties, Denton County, Dallas County, a little bit of hop back up. So more toward the buyer's benefit, but we are still firmly in a seller's market. But I want to give you one last piece of advice here. I know a lot of people are wondering, when is the right time to buy? Would it be good right now with not enough houses on the market and the house prices going up? But then we work that against the low interest rates that we have right now, which are still very low. But one thing you may not realize is when you purchase a house, when you sell a house, you pay out the rest of the year in taxes. And then the people who buy the house, they credit back at closing for the portion of the year that they'll be living in the house. So if you are buying a house in December as we are now, you're going to end up at closing paying almost nothing for taxes. Maybe just a few $100s in the end part of the year. Now, if you buy in January, you're going to have to pay at least a few months of taxes. So if your tax bill for the year around here could be $10,000, even $12,000 on a big house, you might have to pay a good portion of that at closing. So that'll be a chunk. So those people who are maybe worried about the amount of actual capital to bring to closing, the amount of actual cash, hey, you might be in a better shape if you can find something at the end of the year instead of waiting until just after the first of the year. So that's a little bit of advice on that. If you have any questions on that or the process, what might be right, what might be good for your family, my idea of the trends, hey, don't hesitate, give me a holler. You can send me a direct message down below. I've gotten a message, I think, just about every time I put one of these on here. But any questions, I'm happy to address those. If you want a brief, no obligation consultation, hey, I'll buy you a coffee or a dinner and we can talk through that. Hey, but this is Ben Howard bringing this market report. I'll talk to you soon.